Alright, what's cracking with y'all? It's your boy Prince the Hustle God, aka Wise the Warlock, and we reaching in our combat tool bag one more again. It is a cold black affair. Shout out to the mighty LDBC. LDBC only, LDBC everywhere, LDBC or nothing. This video is on arrogance, period. To put simply, arrogance of one of my favorite fighters, Earl the Truth Spence Jr., arrogance of Terrence Bud Crawford, arrogance of premier boxing champions, and arrogance of Terrence Crawford's handlers. He doesn't have a promo company right now that's backing him that has a network. So I'll say his handlers and Bo Mac and his weirdo team. So let's get into it. Earl Spence retweeted, I'd say about maybe a month or so ago, some guy basically saying that these internet guys or these YouTube guys are getting more money off of their name, and like not getting more, but getting money off of these guys' names, stirring up stuff, just speaking on things, making up narratives. And Terrence Crawford just recently said MFers online talking just to essentially act like they know something and they don't know what they're talking about. They just want to feel important. And then we've had also this fight in the makings, or being talked about, being built by the fans, being developed from the ground up by Trill Boxing Talk, and that's Black Fight Fan TV, 7-8 Sports TV, CC, and that fight was developed on that platform. From there, the fans picked sides. A civil war began, and we began to build this fight at least since 2017. Fast forward to today and to those two recent statements I made. Why do I make all of these statements? Why do I bring this up? Because neither Errol Spence or Terrence Crawford are household names. There's a difference, as my OG Black Fight fan will put, in a superstar and a star. Nobody in boxing right now is a star. There is not one person who can just pop up, no announcement, and do an event like a Beyonce. These guys are not Michael Jordan. These guys are not LeBron James. They are not superstars in the essence of, if I walk up to a random Asian man and say, "Hey, do you know who Earl Spence or Terrence Crawford are?" Like, chances are they're not going to have no idea who the hell I'm talking about. Secondly, when you look at the networks, well, no, not even secondly. I'm not even going to get away from that. I say that to say, when people are talking about you, Errol Spence, you, Terrence Crawford, me, Michelangelo Turner, Combat Toolbag, Wise the Warlock, whatever the fuck, that's publicity, that's attention on your name, that's people talking about you that weren't talking about you before, and that also is potential dollars in your pocket, meaning that it could be potential merch sold, it could be potential tickets sold. So if no one's talking about you, then good luck on trying to sell a fucking fight that we have, what, 2-3 months left in this year. And now the PBC and Earl Spence and Terrence Crawford, if it is a go, it's not going to do the numbers that it should do. Why? Because you give people such short notice to try to gather themselves up to try to support people who appear to be ungrateful because they're speaking out the side of their head talking about people in the media are doing what people in the media do, meaning promote and keep their name in a discussion, keep their name relevant, so that, hey, maybe you guys can get Canelo Alvarez paydays because your shows will do Canelo Alvarez numbers. But that's highly unlikely when you give your fans no time to prepare for a fight, and you think we're not supposed to talk about you, we're not supposed to keep you top of mind, so that when you do think you're Beyonce, and this goes for Earl Spence and Terrence Crawford and the PBC. So when you think everyone can just drop randomly like a Deontay Wilder and sell 1 million pay-per-views, you'll be sadly mistaken. And you'll be heartbroken, and we'll be back at square one arguing down these stupid ass stereotypes of, oh, black fighters don't sell, or the Mexicans are the best fan base in the world. Why? Because we can't get on one accord, and that's to not necessarily announce the fight, but give the fans time to support you. B, let the fans support you in whatever capacity that is, be it critical or be it praiseworthy. It put a bad taste in my mouth, Team EJ, to see him retweet some random schmuck on YouTube terminology, phrasing of his interpretation of what's going on, and essentially saying that you relate to it. But it's like, hey, you're not a superstar. We need, as fans of yours, time to prepare to actually support you. So if we're not talking about what's to come in the future, then what are we supposed to do? Sit in silence on our hands and just wait until you pop up and just buy and keep quiet? I don't think so. It's a fuck you if you think that's how we rocking. And same goes for Terrence Crawford. He does no promotion his whole career, and then when it's time for the biggest fight of his career, well, no, I jumped the gun. He does no promotion his whole career, and then when Earl Spence is busy, he gets louder than a megaphone, and then when it's time to sign the biggest fight of his career, he gets quiet, and he's out playing basketball and about to fight Trey Songz and taking pictures with Jay-Z. Both guys essentially doing everything but announcing the fight. So I can't say, hey, why ain't Bud signed? And Earl Spence is such the good guy, and I hate to say it that way, but heavy quotation, such the good guy, he won't even say, hey, it ain't me, it's this nigga holding it up. And granted, he said that before they were in negotiations. He said, when I get this third belt, you'll see who's holding it up. And he hinted at something, but he does these smooth one-liners as to think that the whole world can read in between the lines. Granted, some of us with common sense can, but the rest of the world just make up narratives and say, no, this is what he means, this is what he means. So to put a button on this, I don't want to focus on them as much as to say that fuck y'all opinions of how the media feels about you, because the media and fans and people with a brain and a mouth are going to have an opinion about you regardless of how you feel. And just for the sake of business, if you don't have a client's attention, you have nothing. So if you're not on our mind, you're not getting none of our money, period. Think about that. And for the promoters, if this is part of your agenda on why or like a tactic on why you won't be able to sell the fight because Earl Spence said he's not gonna be in 147 going next year, if that's the case, like, that's some scumbag stuff of you guys to basically not promote the fight at all. And because you didn't build the fight or put anything into the fight, you don't want to invest anything into it. And then if you do decide to invest anything into it, and you do decide to squeeze it in and release a date, and it be this year, shame on you. because you know that it has no real chance of doing the numbers that it has potential to do. That's literally like them canceling the Robert Helenius fight and then just making Deontay Wilder versus Anthony Joshua. If we had 4 months of promotion of that, at least 4 months of promotion of that, it gives people time to react, adapt, save, and actually support, so that you can see the usual spectacular numbers. But if you just subbed out Robert Helenius for Anthony Joshua and you only gave people 2 weeks to decide, it wouldn't be Deontay Wilder's best night. So in regards to this Errol Spence and Terrence Crawford fight on PBC, in regards to PBC, in regards to Terrence Crawford, and in regards to Errol Spence, you guys all need to do something. You need to make a decision, and you need to go public, because if not, you lose Errol Spence, you lose your biggest legacy fight. Your biggest cash fight would be Canelo. We get that. Your biggest legacy fight would be Terrence Crawford at this point. Terrence Crawford, it's needless to say, you lose your biggest payday, you lose your biggest name, be gone. PBC, you'll lose a giant portion of your black supporters, your black fan bases, and your American supporters and real boxing fan base, because we're not going to tolerate the shit. That said, till next time, guys, it was, is, and always will be a Code Black affair. Shout out to the mighty LDBC. Support everything LDBC, Trilitary, Junior the Truth, Kano Loco, Usual Suspects, shop Usual Suspects, usualsuspect6.com. Pick up your Combat Tool Bag merch and get you some fly ass Usual Suspect 6 gear as well. Please check out Acting Right TV, HFO Church, and 94 Sun God 94 Films on Instagram and YouTube. Till next time, guys, deuces.